Okay, I'm gonna add one more installment to America's Clothes to tell you a fun little story about the experience I had going past the testing site the day before it opened, the day that I videotaped them setting up, and when the National Guard was there. I don't see the National Guard trucks there anymore for the past 2 days either. I don't see the military men in there. They also weren't wearing masks or any protective clothing. I noticed that as well. What I wanted to discuss though was, and it doesn't prove to mean anything, but the day that they were setting up, I found it extremely odd that there was a man leaving. There was a couple individuals in plain clothes that were standing around the entrance, which is not the entrance, but the entrance to the parking lot that is the exit for the testing participants. Well, there was a man on a motorcycle and a helmet. He had his gear on. He had a crotch rocket, a Japanese motorcycle, and he took off tearing up the road. I mean, he made a U-turn at the first place he could, and this guy took off on this bike like full speed down the road. And he came out of the testing site. So he was involved with the testing site, and he came out of the testing site with police all over the place and everything, and just tearing at his motorcycle as hard as he can accelerate. Now, the thing was, if that isn't strange enough that someone would behave like that while setting this thing up, there was another guy in there that came out, and I'm passing by the port right now of Palm Beach, which, by the way, the port of West Palm Beach has been remarkably slow in the past few weeks since this virus pandemic has become a thing. All of a sudden, the port is moving so slow. I mean, I come by here and they're throwing containers off of these ships as fast as they can. And right now, well, the demand is lower. I get that, but the demand is much lower, but it still begs the question, it slows down. Well, anyway, I'm rambling. The guy took off in his motorcycle, and the other guy that was there was another guy standing there in plain clothes, and he was videotaping. So, I asked him a question. I asked him if I forget what I asked him. I asked him, was that the guy that just pulled off right here? I think I asked him. And the thing is, I know he heard me, because I asked him right in his face, like right next to him, like 2 feet away from him. Hey, was that guy blah, blah, blah? He knew I was talking to him. I have seldom in my life been ignored like I didn't exist, like this guy ignored me like I didn't exist. I mean, I stopped, stood there, said this to him, and he didn't turn his head. He did not acknowledge my existence. He was like, I don't talk to animals. I mean, it was rude. I mean, as rude as you can be. And he sure was into like filming this motorcycle thing, not taking whatever his responsibilities with the testing site was, because he was in there, he's involved. Whatever his responsibilities was, he wasn't taking it too seriously. They were more concerned with videotaping homeboy take off on his motorcycle as fast as he could. That's what they were concerned with. So maybe they were bored. It doesn't mean anything, but for something as dire of a situation it is for the individuals in there setting it up to behave that unprofessional like that was, I don't know, it was concerning to say the least. That's all. Doesn't prove anything. Just, what are we dealing with? We're dealing with people acting like children setting this thing up. That's all.